I think it's really important that people don't think that you just blow up overnight. You need to be categorized. They need to understand who you are. They need to understand who to show it to. So it doesn't just happen. It's not a thing. It's honestly consistency and clarity that create that momentum to blow up overnight. Welcome to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinal, and this is a space where bold moves meet inspired action. Join us as we dive into stories, strategies, and mindset of those who are building their dreams, creating impactful communities, and redefining success on their terms. Whether you're looking for practical business tips, a boost of inspiration, or a community that gets your vision, you are in the right place. Get ready to elevate your journey and embrace what it means to be a bold founder. Let's dive in. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Bold Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Kinal, and today we're talking about something you've probably said before, and I know that a lot of people are feeling like this because, as I said, I'm pulling a lot of my content coming up from what is really working on my social media feed, and that is the algorithm hates me. And we've all been there. I've been there myself, and you've spent hours filming, you're editing, you're writing, you're creating the perfect caption. Even just this week, I posted this video that took me so long to do, and then I was like, that's it. That's all I got. And the easiest videos are the ones that get the best views. It drives me crazy sometimes. So we're thinking, okay, cool. Guess Instagram just doesn't like me anymore, or I've done something and I'm in the bad books. Why did I have all these incredible views and then all of a sudden it just tanks? So we're going to talk today about how the algorithm does not hate you, and honestly, it doesn't even know you. It just takes what content's out there at the time, understands it in its own way, and then looks at what your audience is doing and behaving from the content you're putting out there. So it's not reacting to you, it's paying attention to so many different details. Today we're going to break down how the algorithm actually works and what they're paying attention to and how you can start using it to your advantage. So it doesn't feel like you're spending hours and hours and hours and you're like, ugh, the algorithm hates me. And believe me, I even to this day will still have, like I said, a reel that I spent hours on and then I'm like, what? Really? And then a reel that I basically walked into a room and did nothing is the one that performs better, right? So we're just going to play around, have a little fun, and talk about why the algorithm doesn't hate you and how we can make it love us. We're going to start by saying the algorithm isn't a person. So when we say the algorithm hates me, obviously it doesn't hate you because there is no emotions in the algorithm because it's not a person. It is just a machine. It's just collecting data. It's just taking the math out of what is happening behind the scenes and then analyzing it and then deciding what to do with it. It's simply just watching how people react to what you're posting and how they're interacting with it. And there are certain things that will make it give you more favor, right? If someone hits a repost, obviously that's a really strong favor. If somebody comments, that's a really strong favor. If they're just liking it or they're just watching it really quick and then they move on, that's a favor, but it's not a strong one, right? So over time, it just listens to what you're posting and how people are interacting with it. And then they put you into a category, okay? For example, if I talk about social media all the time, the algorithm is going to know that I talk about social media and that's my niche. So that's the category that I'm going to be put into. So it's going to recognize my content fits into the social media tips and strategy category. So when someone is scrolling on the Reels tab and watching lots of videos on marketing, business, and social media, the algorithm is going to be like, oh, hey, Jen's content fits here. Let's put that into their feed. And then we're going to see how it works. So it's honestly, that's super simple and logical when you put it that way. It has nothing to do with you or the hours you posted on it. It is honestly really about what your audience is doing with that content. And it's starting to take those measures and the data that's analyzing, and then that's how it's deciding. So even though I spent 2 hours, depending on when I posted it, is my audience online? Did they get to see that video early enough to get it to boost that video exactly because it took me so long and I did it that morning because I had a couple edits. I had a lot of edits to do. I got inspired on what was trending and then went and did that direction versus what I had originally planned. It took me longer to do because I didn't think it was going to take that long. And then I posted later, which meant that not as many of my core audience was on, and also it's not part of my consistency schedule of posting usually earlier in the morning. It got lower views in the beginning, and then the algorithm goes, okay, well, not many people saw this, doesn't seem to be performing very well. Maybe we're not going to push this one, right? That's kind of my fault. I didn't really follow my consistency. I've tried to go with the trend and then it took forever for me to figure out how to do it. But that's like super data management. Like it's just how it analyzed it and exactly what it should have done. Not really my fault, not really their fault. Just is what it is. It just took what was the data given to it and analyzed it and moved on. So it's paying attention to your patterns, both your content data when you're posting, the type of content you're posting, the subject matter, and then it's also paying attention to your audience's behavior. So the people who are following you and what they like to see from you, but also when it posted to other people, if it's still resonating with them, right? So it's taking all the information and deciding from there what to do. And it has its own avenues based on the data that comes in as to which direction it's going to send your content out to more. Maybe we'll try a couple more. Like it could be like, okay, well, it's doing okay. Let's try a little bit more. It could be like, whoa, this is doing really well. Let's go major in the right direction. So this is kind of the part where it gets really interesting because the algorithm is really watching everything. Like it's also watching not just that specific reel, it's watching how are you doing in stories? How are you interacting with your audience? How are you talking with people in your DMs? Are you getting lots of DMs? Are you getting lots of reposts? Are you getting saves? What type of engagement are you creating? And they want to reward those people because think about it. Instagram, the whole point of Instagram is to keep you on Instagram, keep you scrolling, keep you potentially buying products from sponsored ads, seeing sponsored ads, because then they can get more sponsored ads. They want you to stay on the feed. So if I am a creator that is creating content that is getting people to go through more and more and more of my stuff or stay on the app longer or converse with me more, that is like huge good things for the algorithm. Like you're doing exactly what they want. So yeah, they're going to post your stuff more because they want more of that. You're doing them a favor by you creating content that people love. So then they don't have to work as hard on the back end in the marketing department to actually promote it, right? So they're going to reward the creators that are like doing amazing work. And that makes complete sense. So it looks at how your audience behaves when your reels pop up. They're watching the whole thing. They're watching to see when they're dropping off. Are they dropping off after 2 seconds? Are they liking it? Are they saving it? Are they sharing it to their stories? Do they come back and watch it again? If people are engaging with it, the algorithm takes that as like green light to push it to more people, right? They're like, yes, this is working so well. Let's spread it out. And it keeps performing and it keeps expanding your reach layer by layer. And honestly, that's just how a post takes off. It's not because of luck. It's not because the algorithm finally likes you. It's just because the data says this content is working. And then we need to listen to the content is working. We need to look at it. I talked about this when I was doing the Trail Reels podcast episode about really looking at your analytics and really listening to, even if you're not looking at the analytics specifically, let's just say we're looking at views on our grid feed. We can see our views, or on our whole feed where we can see reels, we can see carousels, we can see all of it. What is performing really well and why did it perform really well? Is it because of a specific hook? Is it a specific topic that you're talking on? Play around with that more. If you see something is working well, can you dive deeper into it? Create a series on it. Then you get more people coming back consistently for you. And then again, that is just telling the algorithm, hey, people like this. They like what she's putting out. Let's keep giving her more. And I want to talk about, yeah, you can go viral. I understand the theory of viral. Everyone wants to go viral, but I also want to like dispel a little bit of a myth about this. This isn't like some person who just like blew up on social media. Yes, some people blow up on social media, but it's not like they just instantly do that. They have been on there for a while. They've been showing it consistently for a long time before that happened. So I want you to think like everyone says that Alex Earl just completely blew up, and she did. But if you were to go back, I bet you she was on there for a very long time before she blew up. Being consistent, figuring out who her niche is, figuring out how her voice, like what her voice is going to be, what her topic is going to be, what is resonating with her audience. I want you guys to start realizing it just doesn't happen overnight. We have to, one, figure out what it is that we want to talk about, get really comfortable with our brand voice when it comes to speaking on that topic so we can just like instantly come up with the hooks or with the captions or with the content that our audience wants. We have to really pay attention to what they want. We really need to be consistent so that our audience know we show up. The algorithm doesn't typically like if you're showing up and then you're disappearing for months and then you're showing up and then disappearing again. It doesn't know where to categorize you then, but it also like is like, well, this person isn't investing. They're not putting any content really into our system, which means that whoever's like watching her stuff isn't really investing in them either, because when you're sporadic on social media, people can see that, right? You kind of lose your relationships a little bit. And that's not like a terrible thing, but if we want to start growing, we need to be consistent. And again, I've said this before, you can be consistent in 3 days a week, you can be consistent 7 days a week, you can be consistent in 3 posts a day, like whatever is consistent for you. But that is how the algorithm is like finding you and then categorizing you and then deciding if it's going to push you more or not. And it's also how your audience is staying up with what's going on in your life, or if they're falling off because you've fallen off social media for a bit. So I just want to make sure that we knew and we dispelled the idea of like, oh, this person just blew up overnight and they did amazing. No, this person put in a lot of work before. They did lots of trial and error. They tested the waters. They got comfortable using their voice. They got comfortable using stories. They started doing things that their audience really wanted to see more of. And then they blew up. So that consistency taught their audience who they are, but it also taught the algorithm who they are and what to do with their content. So I really wanted to touch on this because I think it's really important that people don't think that you just blow up overnight. You need to be categorized. They need to understand who you are. They need to understand who to show it to. So it doesn't just happen. It's not a thing. It's honestly consistency and clarity that create that momentum to blow up overnight. And then another thing I wanted to dispel, because I did talk on this too, is that 3 times a day posting schedule. I don't like it. I don't believe in it. I know there's lots of gurus who have done really well with it, but who has time to do that? Who has time to create 3 different posts per day to post consistently? And if it's working and you can do it, then great. You go right ahead. But for me, posting 7 days a week is a lot. For most of my clients, posting 3 days a week is a lot. You're coming up with content constantly. And if you're doing 5 days a week, like whatever it is you're doing, that's fine. But I want you to make sure that if you're seeing somebody who's saying post 3 days a week or else you're never going to grow, there's other ways. You can post consistently and teach the algorithm who you are, and that will start to sprinkle you past your current audience, but also get you into people who are looking for your content. You can also play with the trial reels, which we talked about last podcast episode on how you can use trial reels and why they're so important, because they do put you in front of other audiences that do not follow you in your specific category, because our algorithm is going to be teaching them like, this is Jen Talk social media. We're going to give social media to this person because this person is searching that already. So I did want to just throw that in there because, to be honest with you, I see it all the time. I see it all the time from social media experts. And I'm like, okay, great. But is this all you do? Like, you just teach social media and you don't have any other jobs and hats you have to wear? Because most entrepreneurs I know are wearing a million hats. They're also doing their own social media and they just don't have time. Like, yeah, I think creating B-roll is great, but like also at the same time, you have to take that B-roll and then you have to figure out what kind of content and text you're going to put on top of it and what the caption's going to be. And then you have to have posting it. And it takes me 2 full days, and I'm a social media manager. I'm a social media strategist. I know what I'm doing. It takes me 1 whole day to create a whole calendar of my next month and what my content is going to be. What is my hook going to be? What is my caption going to be? What is the video content I'm going to create for it? And then I spend another whole day where I actually video it. And then usually I'll break up the video and then I'll put it all together on like a third day. And then that way, all I have to do for the whole month is just like see what I'm posting, grab the video. It's already got everything done, hooks done, captions done, and then just post it. But that's 3 whole days for 7 days a week for a month. I want to stress enough that yes, this is a strategy. It does work, but I don't know that many entrepreneurs can consistently keep up with that schedule. And I'd rather you be consistent and enjoying it and not exhausted by it, and use strategies that work versus just pushing out content. Let's work on making really good quality. And by quality, it doesn't have to be perfect and curated and beautiful. And no, let's just really think about what our audience wants and let's create content that's specifically geared to them, right? Or specifically geared to the audience in our niche. And from someone who has like battled and is still battling with burnout, I can tell you posting that many times a day for me is just not something that's going to ever happen. I'm not ever going to do it. I'm never going to promote it because I just think it's exhausting. It's going to burn you out. You're not going to want to be on social media and you're not going to grow because you're too tired, or you're going to push, and then you're just going to like fall off. You're going to fall off because you're like, I can't do it. I'm too tired. I can't keep up. I have all these other things to do with my business. So I did want to touch on this because I see it all the time and I just don't think it's sustainable. I said it. That's just what I think. I want you to find your rhythm and find something that works for you. For me, 7 days a week, I'm a social media strategist. I should be posting that many times a week. You don't have to. That's what I do. I encourage you to do 3 to 5. 7 if you want to, go for it. Not saying anything about that, but what you can do. Most of my clients post 3 days a week. It's just what works for them. It's the type of content they can give me. We don't want them showing up too much and being burnt out. So I say 3 to 5. Just have fun with it. Yes, we need to understand the algorithm a little bit better and how we can use it as our strategy, but we also need to make sure that we are having fun when we make our content. Because if you are not having fun, it's going to become exhausting and tiresome and another to do. And we want to make sure that we are enjoying it. So I want you to take what you've learned from this episode about the algorithm and start thinking about how we can use it on Instagram and how we can start implementing it. So I want you to start by watching your analytics. See what your analytics tell you about your audience. They're honestly little secrets about what your audience wants from you. They're telling you what's working, what's resonating, what they're having trouble with. What can we tweak to make it grow and resonate even further with our audience? Can we bring in the trial reels and see if those will help us know more information about our audience and our analytics? And really, there will always be a reel that you post and you're like, it's going to be so good. And you spend so much time on it and it totally flops. And that just happens. I've had it. I've spent hours on reels and been like, this is so cool and so excited. And it's always the ones that honestly, they have so many transitions and so many things or so many edits you have to do. And those are the ones that don't do well. So sometimes I'm like, just keep it basic, keep it simple. It could be me walking into the room with the camera, video up and been like, okay, just smiling at the camera. And then I put my text and stuff and that's the one that does well. Not always. Sometimes the really cool transitions do really well because they're really cool and they're eye-catching. But remember, it's just not you. There's so many things that go into what takes off and what doesn't. It's totally about who saw it, when they saw it, how they interacted with it. And sometimes the timing is off. Sometimes the audience just isn't there yet. And that's okay. That's how we learn. Like I said, I'm this social media strategist and I still look at some things and I'm like, oh, I thought that would do better, right? It just depends. You don't know what's going on in the whole world and when they see and when they post this, or maybe you're late. So the real takeaway from this episode is that the algorithm doesn't hate you. It's just analyzing the data. And I encourage you to also analyze your data because that data is categorizing you. It's helping you to show up more consistently and clearly. It's looking at your behavior. That algorithm is looking at your behavior, but then you should be looking at your audience's behavior. What are those insights you can pull from that? Those insights are your roadmap. So I really want you to stop comparing yourself to someone else's growth or how they're doing, or maybe you don't know the strategy behind how they're doing it, and just really focus in on yourself. Yeah, this person and I started at the same time. This is an example. This person and I started at the same time. Maybe she took off way faster than me. Well, why? What is she doing? What's her strategy? Is that something that aligns with my business? Maybe I'm not being clear enough on my own content. And that's okay because sometimes we change up what our target audience is, or we change up what we want to focus on. And then we have to reteach the algorithm. Or if you've not been on social media, like I said, my account has been kind of ghosted for a little bit. So I haven't been posting. And so I haven't been creating a category for myself with the algorithm. So I have to get back to being consistent for the algorithm to understand Jen's back. People are watching her. Her views are growing. She talks about social media. Okay, let's start rewarding her by her consistency and start putting her in other places to see. And I've seen that. I've seen my reels that have basically stayed with my audience start to expand past my reach. I'm starting to see people following me that I've never known before. And that's because I'm being consistent, but I'm also being strategic. I'm really paying attention to what is happening and deciding, okay, let's make more content based on that. Like I've said it already before, my podcast episodes now are being based on what people are saying. I'm using that analytics further. You could use that for your podcast episodes. You could use that analytics for your workshops. You could use that analytics for your programs. You could use it for your emails. It's really cool to do that. And Instagram is giving you that data, but it's also using that data to categorize you and decide where to put you also. So the next time you catch yourself saying, ugh, the algorithm hates me, I want you to just like laugh at that little comment, take a breath, and remember this. It doesn't hate you. It's not even a person. It's just analyzing what you're doing, analyzing how you're showing up. It's checking to see what people are doing. Are they following you? Are they listening to you? Are they engaging with you? Are they saving your post? Are they doing a repost? Like, what is the data that's coming from that? That's how it's deciding what to do with it. If you're not showing up, that's why the algorithm has nothing to analyze. It doesn't know what to do with you because you haven't been doing it, right? So you need to teach it. It's up to us to teach it, but then listen to what it's telling us. So then we can give more content that it's like, oh, this is even better than the last one. Let's keep promoting this. And if you want to stay in the loop of like learning about these strategies, but also learning how to use your own analytics. Like I've talked so much about analytics and the algorithm and all these things. If you want to start looking at your own, I'm creating a community called the Social Edit. It is coming very soon. I encourage you to join the waitlist. We're going to be really talking about what are the trends that's going on. What should you be posting? How are you going to post? We're going to like sit there together and like hash it out. And then you're going to have your whole month strategy. But you're going to know like this is what's working right now. This is where you should try. We're going to talk about trial reels. We're going to talk about like your own social media. We're talking about analytics. We're going to talk about what's working. It's going to be incredible. So again, sneak peek details of it. Check out the Social Edit waitlist. Sign yourself up for it. It's going to be amazing. The sign up for that is in the show notes. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your guidance and for showing me in my analytics what you want more, because that just makes me create more content that you guys love. So I appreciate you guys showing up. Please share this with someone who you feel like needs it, or share it on your socials and tag me and tell me why you loved it. One, that helps me know why you loved it, helps me know what you want more of, but also helps me spread the word of this podcast, because podcast world is a hard world to like get into, stay consistent with. It's like another Instagram basically that you've added onto your plate. But I just really love it because it gives me an opportunity to kind of dive deeper into the content that I post on social media and get more questions and answers for you guys. So thanks so much for following along. I'm so happy you were here, and have a wonderful day.